All right. I want to start by giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rikakwadash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles and teachers and wise men of great millstone that I learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. Salutations out there to the elect. All right. I want to do a quick lesson going into, we'll give you an example of two people that supposedly have a friendship and how one, is surety for another, but in the end, he shows impudence. So before I play the video, I'm going to start right here in Ecclesiasticus. Let's see, Ecclesiasticus 29. Let's start right here at verse 14 to get some context on the video that you're going to see. All right. Ecclesiasticus 29 verse 14, it says, an honest man is surety for his neighbor. Let's look up the word surety. This is the word surety means. It says a person who takes responsibility for another one's performance of an undertaking. It says, for example, they're appearing in court or the payment of a debt, you see? So it says an honest man is surety for his neighbor, which means you can trust him, you see? He's a guarantor or sponsor for his neighbor. It says, but he that is impudent will forsake him. So he'll forsake his neighbor if he has an impudent mind. Let's look up the word impudent. It says not showing due respect for another person. And it has some definitions. It says brazen. It says shameless. You see? Shameless. So an impudent person is shameless, when it comes to the surety of a surety of his neighbor. You see, an impudent man is shameless. So let's give you an example of that. Let's play the video, and then I'll get some more scriptures.
I'm suing him because we had an agreement that I was going to loan him $800, and if he lost, then he would give me back the $800. But if he won, I'm suing him because we had an agreement that I was going to loan him $800, and if he lost, then he would give me back the $800. But if he won, then he would take care of me like always and at least double my money on the winnings.
That's
which he did not.
Okay, so let me see. You were gambling. You loaned him $800. If he lost, pay back the $800.
Yes.
Just the $800.
Correct.
If he were to win, pay you $800 plus.
It's always.
What was the word? So he said pay you $800
He said he would take care of me like last time. Which every time I've done this and he won, he doubled my money.
And
which I have text messages.
You loaned him money in the past.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the defendant would win.
When he did win, yes.
And then when he paid you.
He doubled my money every time.
What did he do this time?
This time he won $15,000 off the $800 that I gave him, and then paid me back the $800, and then refused to give me anything extra. Where he wouldn't have won the $15,000 at all had I not loaned him the $800.
All right, this stupid ad.
Over the shoulder trick.
Salakia, it's a stupid ad. Let's wait till this ad go by. All right, let's continue the video. Salakia.
Because he ran out of money, was losing at the table, and came to me and asked me if he could borrow $800. He was up $2,000.
My pleading says that he paid you back the $800.
He paid me back the $800.
Well, you just said he paid you back nothing.
Well, nothing, no profit.
Oh, but you said he paid you back nothing. So there's a difference. Now, did he return the $800?
He returned the $800.
Okay.
Yes.
So he repaid the $800 and nothing else. None of the profits. And in the past, he'd share his profits.
Right, always. And he even told me this time, he sent me a message the next morning because I had left. I had got up and I left with mine. And he said, is it okay if I keep going? I'm up $2,000. I said, of course. And the next morning, he sends me a message saying, I hit the jackpot. I got $15,000. We made it big. And then when I met him, he refused to give me anything besides the $800.
You see, and this is an example. Let's go back to Ecclesiasticus 29. Let's keep reading. All right, this is verse 15. It says, forget not the friendship of thy surety. You see, for he have given his life for thee. You see, so that guy, let's go back this guy right here, you see, he gave his life, you know, unto this guy. You see, which this guy, from what the story, from what this guy is saying, he gave. You see, he gave him an assurance. You see, they formed a surety. He's the guarantee. He's the guarantor, and he's the friend. He's the neighbor. So he gave him his life, and this guy, it seems like he can't be trusted. Let's go back to Ecclesiastes 29, verse 15 again. It says, "Forget not the friendship of thy surety." You see, they formed a friendship. You see, and it seems like he forgot the friendship of their surety. It says, "For he have given his life for thee." You see, so he gave his life for him, which he gave his life for the money, the money that he could gain. You see, by trusting in this guy. All right, let's continue the video.
I hit the jackpot. I got 15 grand. We made it big. And then when I met him, he refused to give me anything besides the 800. I just want to double my money.
So you just want $1,600?
Right. I don't want half the 15,000.
Like he's always done. Double what you gave.
Like what he said. I'll take care of you like always.
Okay, let me hear from you.
So over the years, there have been many times where one of us has been down at the tables. We've always kind of navigated towards the craps tables. That one of us would then loan the other, if he was able to, money to keep him going. If the other person then won, then that loan would get paid back regardless. Sometimes
Every time.
one of us would then contribute some of the winnings. This always doubled thing is the first I've heard of that. That is not the case.
It's been like
So
that
that
every
was
time, Your
not the
Honor.
agreement.
No, there was never any specific verbal or written agreement stating,
it
I will
says-
double the money that you gave me.
He said he'll take care of me like always, and it's always been double.
Okay, but he's saying it's not always double. So you all have a dispute.
Yes, they do have a dispute. Let's go back to Ecclesiastes 29. Let's continue to read. It says, "A sinner will overthrow the good estate of his surety." You see? So this guy, which it says a sinner will overthrow the good estate of his surety, which, you see, both of these guys, I'm pretty sure they're sinners, you see, which means they can't be trusted. They can't trust each other. They overthrew the good estate of the surety, or the agreement they had, him being the guarantor, him being the guarantee, the guarantee, you see. All right, let's continue to read. Well, let's read it again. Verse 16, "A sinner will overthrow the good estate of his surety." Verse 17, it says, "And he that is of an unthankful mind will leave him in danger that delivered him." You see? So he left him in danger. So he left him in danger by what? Not paying the money that he was due. You see? So it says, let's read it again. It says, "And he that is of an unthankful mind will leave him in danger that delivered him." You see? So this guy was promised that he would get more money from this guy. But this guy right here, he put him in danger. From what was stated in the video, they borrowed a lot of money. You see? They took out loans and loans. Let's hear him again.
It's been like
So
that every
that was
time,
not
Your
the
Honor.
agreement.
No, there was never any specific verbal or written agreement stating,
it
I will
says-
double the money that you gave me.
He said he'll take care of me
Specific, but we've always kind of.
Always done. Double what you
like
gave.
what he said. I'll take care of you like always.
Okay, let me hear from you.
So over the years, there have been many times where one of us has been down at the tables. We've always kind of navigated towards the craps tables. That one of us would then loan the other, if he was able to, money to keep him going. If the other person then won, then that loan would get paid back regardless. Sometimes
Every time.
one of
You see? They were, loaning each other money. You see? It says, "And he that is of an unthankful mind will leave him in danger that delivered him." You see? So they were loaning money to each other in order to continue their gambling habit, but they left each other in danger, you see? Or he left him in danger, you see? By what? Causing him to lack the money that he needed, you see? All right, let's continue to read. All right, it says, surety have undone many of good estate, you see, which these two are an example of that. Let's go look up the word surety. Let's see what surety means. Or Salakia, suretyship. Suretyship. Let's look up the word suretyship. Let's see. Suretyship. It says suretyship. Let's see. Let's get another definition. It says suretyship, the state of being surety. Let's see, an obligation of a person to answer for another. All right, let's read this one. It says, meaning of suretyship is a contractual relationship in which a surety engages to answer for the debt or default of a principal to a third party. All right, let's read this one. It says, suretyship, also known as surety or becoming a guarantor, is you see? And then it says that involves taking on the responsibility of another person's debt, you see? So, through them loaning each other money, they were taking on the responsibility, of paying each other back, you see? And let's read it again. Well, let's read it. Verse 18, it says, surety have undone many of good estate, you see? They're friends, you see? But the fact that they borrowed or took or loaned each other money, it put a stain on their friendship. And it says, and shaking them as a wave of the sea. All right. It says, many men have it driven from their houses so that they wander among strange nations, you see? And it driven them from their houses because what? They can't trust, it caused them to worry. You see, it drives them out of their houses, which means they lose a lot of money. You see, because they owe money. It says, a wicked man transgresseth the commandments of the Lord shall fall into suretyship. You see, shall fall into owing somebody. And it says, he that undertaketh and followed other men's business, you see, taking out a loan from a friend or somebody and expecting them to pay you back, you see, for gain, you see, as stated in the video, gambling, you see, they're loaning money to each other for gain, you see, just to make extra money, to make a profit. It says, and follow other men's business for gain, you see, shall fall into suits, a lawsuit, you see. And that's why they're in court right now, suing each other, you see. So brothers and sisters, don't fall into that surety. Don't fall into a suretyship, you see. Don't owe a person don't owe a person money, and don't borrow money from a person, you see, in order for gain, because if you're wicked, you'll fall into suretyship like these two.
One of us would then contribute some of the winnings. This always doubled thing is the first I've heard of that. That is not the case.
It's been like
So
that.
that was not the agreement.
No, there was never any specific verbal or written agreement stating I will double the money that you gave me.
He said he'll take care of me like always, and it's always been double.
Okay, but he's saying it's not always doubled. So you all have a dispute. You said it's always doubled when he says I'll take care of you like always. He says it's not always doubled. We give each other some additional money when we win. It's not always doubled. We just give what we want to give to the other.
He's always giving.
Yep, you see, they can't trust each other. All right. Let's end with this scripture. Salakia. Let's see. Let's get a good one. Let's scroll down. Salakia, bear with me. All right. It says, help thy neighbor according to thy power, and beware that thou thyself fall not into the same. You see, the same what? The same situation. You see, and by both of these guys loaning money to each other, just to make a profit, now look at them. They fell into the same situation. You see, now they're suing each other, trying to get more money. All right. I'll end the lesson here. All praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Rekakwadash. Shalom.